A long time ago in ancient Rome, millions of people were slaves. They worked on farms, fought in arenas, and dug deep in dark mines. They had no freedom, no choice, and no pay. Every day was filled with pain, fear, and hard work, but some slaves said, "No more." They rose up and shook the Roman Empire. In Sicily, a slave named Eunus told others that God spoke to him. He even said he could breathe fire, and people believed him. They were tired of being hurt and bossed around, so they followed him. Eunus led a large group. They took over towns, and more slaves joined him. He even called himself King Antiochus. For 3 years, they ruled their land. But Rome sent a big army. The rebels were crushed. Eunus was captured and died in prison, but the fire he lit did not die. Later, Rome promised to free some slaves, but then broke its promise. The slaves were furious. 2 brave men, Salvius and Athenion, stood up and gathered fighters. They led the Second Servile War. The rebels fought bravely. They won battles, but Rome sent more soldiers, stronger armies. In the end, the rebellion failed, and the leaders were killed. Still, the anger didn't go away. In the city of Capua, a strong gladiator trained to fight for crowds. His name was Spartacus. One day, he and 70 others escaped their school, using kitchen tools as weapons. They ran to the top of a mountain. More slaves joined them, hundreds, then thousands. Soon, Spartacus had an army of over 100,000 people. They fought the Roman army and won many battles. He became a symbol of hope. But Rome could not allow this to go on. A rich and powerful general named Crassus was sent to stop them. He built walls to trap the rebels. Spartacus tried to escape by sea, asking pirates for help, but the pirates betrayed him. Surrounded, Spartacus and his army prepared for one final battle. They fought with all their strength. Spartacus died in the fight. His body was never found. To send a message, Rome nailed 6,000 captured slaves to crosses. They lined the road from Capua to Rome with their bodies. It was cruel, but Rome was scared. These rebellions frightened the Roman leaders. Slaves outnumbered the rich. What if more uprisings happened? What if the slaves took over? The Senate made new rules. Slaves were no longer allowed to train or gather in large groups. They were watched more closely. Rome won the wars, but fear stayed in their hearts. Not all Romans supported slavery. Some poor people helped the rebels. They gave food, hid them in barns, or passed secret messages. Even some guards looked away. They knew slavery was wrong, but feared speaking up. Years later, people found messages from slaves. Some were scratched on walls or written on broken pottery. One message said, "One day we will be free." Another said, "Remember Eunus, remember Spartacus." Even though they were in chains, they dreamed of freedom. The slaves lost their wars, but their voices still echo. Today, we still say the name Spartacus. We still remember their courage. They were brave, they were bold, they were Rome's worst nightmare and freedom's loudest voice.